We all go a little mad sometimes.
Get you.
You are under darkness.
Here's Johnny.
Hello, and welcome to the Horror Hour, the place where we discuss, we debate, we disagree on all things horror. I'm one of the co-hosts here, Yutaka. Hello. And if you can't tell, I'm very Asian. Sorry, I'll get to that in a moment. But today I'm coming at you with, oh my God, get this, a solo review. I know it's been a hot minute. And I'm actually really excited to talk to you about a solo review because I've watched a ton of films. And this next one is one of them. It's called They Live in the Gray. It comes out February 17th. It's a Shudder original. And you know how much here we fucking love Shudder. I know. And so I'm really excited. And They Live in the Gray, it comes from directors Abel and Burley Vang, the Vang brothers, and it stars Michelle Krusick and Ken Kirby. And let's kind of give you a little bit more of a synopsis. So the story follows Claire, who, while investigating a child abuse case, discovers that the family is being tormented by a supernatural entity. In order to save this family, she needs to face her own fears and use her emerging clairvoyance to defeat this entity. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're, well, maybe not, but I'm going to go there. You're probably saying, wow, this sounds a little bit like Sixth Sense. Well, it's actually not. One of the great things about this film, and this is kind of where the Asian part comes in, you know, it's very rare, because I can honestly not think in my 38 years of an Asian American-led horror film. And that's something that the Vang brothers wanted to, you know, put together. There's a lot of great Asian horror out there. Typically, they're foreign films, which I do love. There's nothing wrong with that. But I would still like to see, you know, Asian Americans on our TV screens, on our movie screens, you know, and this is one of those films. And again, we don't get to see that often. And you know what? If you can think of an Asian American-led horror film, please comment down below because I would love to see it. Really, I would. So right out the gate, I'm going to tell you, I was a little emotional watching this because I always want to see myself represented on screen. And this was one of those times. So with that, I'm going to tell you the things I liked, the things I didn't like, and my overall score. All right. So first off, what did I like? Well, I love Michelle's performance. She knocks it out of the park. I mean, at the center of this story, it's grief. That is the main topic, I guess, of this movie. In fact, that's also another thing that I really love because it is really about how we process grief, how we mourn the loss of a loved one, in this case, the loss of a child, and how we can, you know, overcome this grief. You know, something that in Asian culture, if you're unaware of, is that emotions, or, well, showing emotions is rarely done, let alone sometimes are we even allowed to show our, you know, express our emotions and process our grief openly. And I think over the past couple of years, you know, myself losing loved ones during the pandemic and not being able to, you know, share that grief with my other family members because I couldn't travel, that was rough. And, you know, this movie does a good job of showing what happens when we're, you know, internalizing that grief and not letting it out, not addressing it. And this story does a good job with that. Now, granted, this is a slow burn of a film, and so some may be a little turned off by that, but I promise you, the journey is worth it. I really, really appreciated her character, Claire. And I loved what Michelle, well, she acted the house down in this one, okay? I really feel that that was a knockout performance. And there's one scene in particular where towards the end, you'll know it when you see it, that when Claire just lets go, I'm not talking like the Phoenix lets go. I'm talking about just lets go. You'll love it. It really hit me in the heart, and I was so thankful for that. Another thing that I really enjoyed, again, I love the relationship between Claire and her estranged husband, Peter, because the entire time he is just trying to break down this barrier she put up around herself so he can help her process this grief, so they can grieve together and get past it. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to get over the loss of a child. Would know. But I do know it's hard to get over the loss of a loved one. So going at that alone is hard. So I really loved that storytelling. Now, when it comes to the genre-y elements, I really liked that. I know, again, you're like, oh, it's kind of Sixth Sense, but this isn't about, she knows her ability. It's just accepting that and using that. And I loved that journey. This is where we get some parts that I didn't like about the film. I was not as a fan of the other family, or the family that she is trying to help. And that's mainly, I thought some of the acting was wooden. And I think when you've got somebody like Michelle, who's just really giving it her all, I was kind of hoping to see that from the other family, see them match that energy. And I just didn't feel like it was there. One of the other things, yes, I get we're trying to understand, this is her job, this is why she needs to do it. But honestly, the office element, we could have taken that out. That's just for me. I thought that, this is already a slow burn, so let's kind of eliminate some of the stuff that I don't, or sorry, not that but I just didn't feel it was needed. I don't think it kind of pushed the story forward, because it was already really implied, in my opinion. And then I did forget to mention one thing that I did like. There's a twist, and it's not a twist that I was expecting, but I loved. So just be on the lookout for that. But back to one of the other things I didn't like in terms of the genre elements. I really, they were introducing quite a bit of supernatural elements, or you could even say ghosts. I was hoping for a little bit more resolution with that, and we just didn't get that. But that's okay, I guess, because really the story wasn't about them. It was about her. It was about Claire and her journey. And my God, I still really, really loved it. If I were to give this a score overall, I would give this a 7.5 out of 10. I really did like it. I think, sure, I probably connected with it more because of the, being an Asian American, and kind of being proud to see this represented, but also to see some aspects of that culture put into this horror film. Well, it definitely, it hit me in the heart. But that's not to say that this wasn't a really good story. Again, it's a slow burn. That may not be for everyone, but as I said before, this journey is worth it. And I'm thankful that Shudder, really works on championing, just representation in general. I always say they've got a queer section 24/7. Don't drop your ass like every other corporation does when Pride's over, come July 1st. So Shudder is just really out there, just giving us some really great independent horror. And I can't wait to see what the Vang brothers do next. They hinted at a sequel, and I would be here for it. Just saying, would be here for it. So, you know what? Comment down below if you've seen it. Let me know what you thought. And hey, if you know of any other Asian American led horror films, please, by all means, let me know. Now, as I say that, I can think of maybe, okay, like Hatchet 2 and 3, but he really wasn't the lead. It was more of a gag that a character that looked like him kept coming back. But I still do like Perry Shin, so just saying. But really, seriously, comment down below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon so you know every time we drop some new content, because we will be. We've got more reviews coming because, I mean, seriously, I've watched a lot of shit. Not that this was shit, but you know what I mean. We watch a lot of horror films and we may have a new member coming. Oh, who knows? But again, hey, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And till next time, bye.